Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like silver, then you are in luck because I post silver videos every single day of the week. So make sure you subscribe and definitely click the bell so you immediately get notified every time I post a video. I'm going to show some of the headlines that's going on right now across the silver market. We have investinghaven.com posting an article titled "Silver Consolidates, which presents a buying opportunity?" We also have a silver price analysis. Silver trades neutral after negative U.S. jobless claims. This is news that I covered yesterday. Highly recommend you go check that video out. Missouri and Oklahoma might end capital gain taxes on gold and silver. Yes, they are trying to bring back the gold standard, or we are to some extent, actually. This is also interesting news. The Silver Institute just posted their numbers. Global silver industrial demand forecast to reach new highs in 2023, which is even more impressive knowing that they don't even include military, they don't include aerospace, they don't include a lot of different things that would push this number even higher. Also, silver might be replacing platinum for fuel cells, which means this would be an even bigger use for silver, pushing these numbers even higher. This would be a lot cheaper of an alternative, and that's why they're doing this. We also have a forecast gold breaks through $2,300. 23.42 to be exact, and silver at $29. This is a forecast. We also have another article which is titled, "Will 2024 be the year for precious metals?" Even more news. The Fed's actions set the tone in 2024. But this is the article we are about to break down, because the article is titled "2024 Silver Price Boosted by Gold, Tempered by Recession." Why do they use the word tempered? Well, let's find out their logic behind this. The price of silver is widely forecast to rise again in 2024, but a global economic slowdown could cap its gains even as industrial demand remains close to record highs, pushing up the gold to silver ratio of the two formerly monetary metals' relative prices. Well, I don't necessarily agree with this. One, it's not close to record highs, it is record highs. And two, gold rising will definitely affect silver, especially since it's more volatile, but also the demand on top of that will give it another edge that gold just doesn't have. Gold is strictly a monetary metal. So gold and silver are forecast to outshine platinum and palladium, as well as base metals such as copper and nickel, says the 2024 outlook from U.S. financial services giant J.P. Morgan, pointing to the U.S. Federal Reserve's cuts to interest rates plus falling U.S. real yields as bond prices rally from the last 3 years' drop. High interest rates aren't favorable for zero-yielding assets such as silver, explains a specialist consultancy at Metals Focus in its final update of this year for the Silver Institute of Miners, Refiners, and Dealers. But the silver price in 2024 will also likely face poor confidence in industrial commodities due to a slowing Chinese economy. Why are they saying that? Well, China is the biggest consumer of silver, but we can see from the Silver Institute's numbers, where is it at? Right here, that China is still by far the largest consumer, with even showing 2023, it's still growing. Combined, the output of industrial jewelry and silverware fabricators is forecast to increase by 42% between 2023 and 2033. This is roughly double the rate of growth of their demand for silver over the previous decade. Double. So for them saying this, I don't know if they did their research necessarily. Maybe it will slow up a little bit in the next year and then maybe it'll take off. But in the grand scheme of things, which you need to be looking at silver's price in the grand scheme of things, because I'm not selling next year, right? Why would I want the price to even go higher? I want it to go lower. But regardless, if you're going to say something, make sure that you do the homework, and especially make sure you get the answers right if you do try to do the homework. So, lower interest rates and a subsequently weaker US dollar should support the silver price, agrees analysis for German bullion refiners produced by Oxford, which is Harris. However, interest rate cuts usually indicate an ailing economy and upside for silver prices, which will be tempered by a weak industrial outlook. Once again, we're talking about new highs in 2023, and they're predicting that we're going to break even new records in 2024. They're saying that we might hit, or potentially 1.4 billion ounces in 2024, where we're talking about 1.21 billion ounces in 2023. Especially, remember this as well, because this is major news and information that and context that you have to add when looking at silver's annual demand is they do not incorporate military or aerospace, which is satellites, rockets. There's 500 ounces of silver in one Tomahawk missile. We're talking about tanks, nuclear weapons, satellites, everything and anything you could think of that has to do with that sector. Silver is not incorporated, and many other sectors as well. The demand. I mean, U.S. military just raided U.S. silver stockpiles, and rightfully so, since they're needing this silver to make rockets and missiles and satellites for surveillance and so many other things. So, once again, this pushes the demand even higher. So their whole point is slowing economy, not as much silver is going to be needed, but the evidence shows more silver than ever, literally ever, will be needed as we break another record high. Now, we don't know if it's going to be exactly 1.4 billion ounces, but regardless, the demand is growing. I mean, that's a fact. 2023 began with 1 troy ounce of gold worth 75.7 ounces of silver, a ratio which has risen to 84 as safe haven yellow metal gained 13.4% in dollar terms, but silver rose only 2.2% from last New Year's Eve, which is even more to my point. The gold to silver ratio always fluctuates, and the higher it goes, that means gold's outperforming silver. But the ratio always corrects back down, especially if we're in the 84-to-1 level. It's going to drop eventually, meaning that gold right now is overvalued and silver is undervalued. Not overvalued in price, but overvalued in terms or comparing the gold to silver ratio, which sits around 75-to-1 naturally. Well, naturally in this corrupt economy, I would say. Naturally, it should be around 7-to-1 because that's the ratio it comes out of the Earth's crust. So looking at silver's recent activity, says Bullion market expert Rona O'Connell, now at brokerage Stone X, certainly suggests that for now at least the market is preferring to concentrate on gold rather than responding to the slowing in the U.S. economy, the struggles in Europe, and the comparatively anemic recovery in China, where 60% of silver's fabrication demand is driven by industrial uses. Once again, though, we could look at those numbers. Further ahead, O'Connell adds, it's important to remember that the outlook for the solar industry in particular is very strong and benefits silver, as does the electrification of vehicle fleet underpinning silver's fundamentals for the longer term. And we could even go back. There's going to be more silver even needed, since silver may replace expensive platinum groups metals for use in cells or in fuel cells for green batteries. We also have silver lithium ion batteries. So silver in the EV sector is going to demand, that's not even including the solar panels, which is PV cells, photovoltaic cells. 2023 will have seen industrial demand for silver set an all-time high. Metals Focus Managing Director Philip Newman said earlier this month at the LBMA Market Association's annual winter seminar, which I actually covered live on this channel and you guys can watch me go over that with the Silver Institute LBMA conference. I showed my face. I showed the video like I'm just sitting here and we're watching it together. I pause at certain points and break down, throw in my 2 cents. And that was with Phillips Baker as well from Hecla Mining. So it was interesting. It was interesting to say the least, especially since the day I think prior, Keith Neumeyer from First Majestic Silver also did an interview with Kitco News, and both of those men said two opposite things. Keith Neumeyer was talking about demand booming, and Phillips Baker was talking about our silver reserves plentiful. And I don't understand why he even said that, and I don't want to, this is a whole separate video that I've already talked about, but as soon as he said that, he went into 10 different reasons. He was contradicting himself. He contradicted himself. In a way I've never seen before, because he says one sentence, we have plenty of silver, but then he went on for 10, 15 minutes on why we don't have enough silver. So anyways, JP Morgan, whose analysts have the highest conviction on a bullish medium-term forecast, and that's because they corrupt the silver market. 3 of their employees got sent to prison. But anyways, that's for both gold and silver over the course of 2024 and in the first half of 2025. Experts expects that silver prices will likely follow gold higher, rising to average around $30 an ounce in the fourth quarter of next year. I think it could be much higher than that. And that is just given all of the other variables, not just talking about gold to silver ratio terms. And that's the thing. A lot of people only focus on one thing when they give a forecast. They'll say, well, gold's high, so silver has to catch back up, and that's why. But they're not talking about supply and demand fundamentals. They're not talking about investment demand. They're not talking about so many other factors that you all have to piece together. You can't just look at one angle, especially given unknown variables and what's going to be happening with the 2024 election. When you're doing a forecast, you also have to incorporate the unknown variables. A wrench will most likely get thrown in that will throw all of the forecasts way off. And I mean way off. So if anyone's predicting or saying that silver's going to do this and they are confident in their price, I would be skeptical or hesitant to listen to them, because that means that they're not looking at the bigger picture. They're looking at an immediate picture, which a lot of times is dangerous, just like the weathermen. Times change, things change. We're living in crazy times, so expect crazy things to happen, and expect crazy things to happen, which is going to affect the silver price crazily. Anyways, on a serious note, the SFA's forecast for silver expects the precious metal to trade in the range of $22 to $29 per troy ounce. Should the gold to silver ratio hold or rise above this year's average of 83 to 1 to 1 ounce of gold, obviously that would price the Deere safe haven metal at more than $2,400. And once again, even if gold does break above $2,400, that doesn't mean you should be buying it right now. That's the worst time to buy. You should be buying silver. Just like this other article says, where's this one? Yeah. Silver consolidates, which presents a buying opportunity. Who knows if this is the last time we'll ever see what's silver's price right now? It's the actual price to the penny. Right now, silver's sitting at $23.80. Who knows if we'll ever see this? In 2 years from now, even by next year, you might be looking back, wishing you could build a time capsule, thinking or regretting saying to yourself, man, I remember the days that silver was $23.80. I wish I could have bought more then, or I wish I could go back in time and pay those prices nowadays, because who knows what the price could be. It's just like the Bitcoin people saying, man, I wish I could build a time capsule and go back when Bitcoin was $500, because now it's like $55,000. You don't want to be one of those people, even though most people will be buying silver, just like with Bitcoin, once the price has already exploded. It's interesting that there's a lot of psychology behind that, but most people won't start buying something until or after it's already exploded. They need that validation and that confirmation. Where true silver stackers that understand the price don't need that. We already know it will go up. We don't need to see the price going up. So you got to get in before the curve. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I'll try to post another video tonight. I'm trying to post more as we approach 100,000 subscribers. I'm really excited to reach that milestone and hope you guys are here with me for that. If you guys wanted to purchase silver, just email slayer@milesfranklin.com. We have Eagles, a deal going on right now, which is Eagles $4.99 over spot. We also have junk silver, which is assorted dimes and quarters, $3 over spot. We also have 10th ounce gold maples, $30 over spot. That's a 5-coin minimum. The others aren't. But we have tons of stuff. We have like 6 or 7 different types of 10-ounce bars, which are $245 over spot. Lots of different options for gold and silver. So make sure you guys go check that out if you want to take advantage of those deals, because I don't know how long those will last. Slayer@milesfranklin.com. I will get you guys hooked up. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.